Before and after getting into a trade, and before jumping into our topic today, I want to give you two examples of trades that I did this week and actually emphasize the idea behind the before and the after. This is a trade I did yesterday. It's first time I saw this stock. Doesn't matter. Menu. Momento intraday. Immediately when I saw it, that's defined me a certain playbook for momentum, and I was watching the stock around here. Now, when you trade something like this, usually if it's continue high, you see the definition of the volume and the pattern, a little bit small pullback and immediately, buyer coming. And the spikes define for me that I can actually do the short and under here immediately. Now I was watching the spreads. I started the short around here. 6 cent stop. And immediately I got out. And then there was a double versus of double bar. I did here, and then it touched the 9, and again, this is not a capitulation that I wanted to see. Basically, it acted like a regular trade, so around here I went out. Now, what dictate what I did is the knowledge of I did those kind of trades. It's supposed to happen like this. If not, there's not even second thought. DGT. After earning, it was on my list every day because there was huge trades. On this day, I did A plus setup that I one trade. I took it up and it was amazing. So when I came back to the next day, my game plan was identified first. The levels here, if we're breaking 160, we can pull back down if it's breaking the high of previous day. So with this knowledge, I was watching the pre-market. What was the low of the pre-market? Around 160, which actually went beautifully with the knowledge of this. And immediately, if I saw that, I was checking the 160. It shows for me weakness. So what I did immediately on this, as the market was open under 160, I think 2 minutes after, I just went for a long, again for a short. Stop was around here. It was a beautiful trade that actually gave me a lot of opportunity every time when we actually came back. The retest was around the entry, so each time I could actually more size. So everything went. What I want to tell you about is we have the before and the after. Now, I'm trading a lot with students, and sometimes there's a huge difference. We discuss, we plan, we know what we're going to do, and the second and sometimes even less, as they push the button, suddenly everything change. And suddenly they don't remember nothing, suddenly they act not from their own playbook, they're acting from their own emotion, and everything fucked up. So they forget about the trading plan. They of course forget about the reasons, because every time when we get to a trade, as supposed to reason, you should be eliminate every option until you have good reasons why you want to spend your time, money, anxiety / happiness in that trade. There's supposed to be reason, and those are the things that you need to identify before. So you don't just jump into and then start to figure out, because not in my school. Another very important, and this is something that we see it a lot in the last years, the algo. The algo, you can see the fucked up algo, you can see the sophisticated algo, you can see them. And because you can see them, it's very important that each strategy need to have scenario, because there is the scenario one and everything going as you want, and happiness spreads, dreams, everything come true. You just, grab money from the table, above your entry, boom, it's fly away, don't look back. Used to happen much more. It's happened in specific, trading things, but not often. And sometimes there are shakeups and everything. So you need to know exactly if you need to, what to do. Now, as I was saying, there are reasons. You definitely need to trade less and more sophisticated. And you want to understand that you're taking this trade just because you did it in the past a lot. And you got a good statistic about it. Now, this is the most important thing. Again, technical, we talked about blah, 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 but basically, the bottom line is your mental condition. Mental condition before you know, before you come, if you're eating right, sleeping right, do exercise, work on your breathing, because this is the main challenge. Not to tell me, Amir, wow, this is a good cup and that. This is bullshit. The bullshit because you know it and you can train it. But the most difficulty is to train your mental condition. The before, and we're going to talk about the mental condition after. Before, I'm going to jump into after, meaning after. Let's spend like 20 seconds about introducing my one-on-one program, mentoring. We're going to trade live. We're going to build our structure, trading plan, risk management, everything, in order to make you a better trader than you are. So after we get into the trading, it's huge important stick to the plan. Nothing change in the weather, in your perspective, nothing changed. If you had the reason to get into a trade before, definitely they're still there. Now, not always, what you thought will happen. It's happened because you're not trading alone. There's tons of traders, and definitely you want to get into a trigger when lots of trader, institutional, whatever, see that, because this gonna give you the fuel for the trade. Now you need to hope that they are on your way, not the other way, but definitely. So if you had a trading plan, stick. Now, before getting a reason, what do you mean stick, for example? Again, I can just talk about this for 24 hours. For example, you got into the trade doing, let's say you don't even have a partial, whatever, side move, whatever. Two things you need to think about. First, the time of the day. If it's the beginning of the day, I have less patience. Has to be kind of a momentum, need to fuel immediately. If not, reduce, get out, whatever. But this is something definitely you need to take, pay attention than, trading at lunch when it's much more slowly. After doing the partials, whatever, if it's a move to move, if the trade need to go more, you need to adjust your stops. Definitely you don't need to, because you're bored, you need to get out. So this is part of the trading plan and you need to stick now, even when it's going slowly, and definitely if it's not going, out. If I will remember at the end, I will leave you a link for my second chance, some lecture that I did a few months ago. I use it a lot. Again, there are forces stronger than me. If the trade fail, I prefer get out and try again, definitely. when it's hard, after getting, you definitely need to think about the reason too. You can write yourself in front of you, to give you a strength uh, for your mental condition, because those are the things that will strengthen your decision to stick and to follow the plan. Immediate when something happens in the trade, you have to identify which kind of scenario. Can work roughly with like 4 scenarios. Definitely, you need to know if it's, let's say, 1, 2, 3, because automatically you will know what to do. And then the easiest way is to get panic, and this is again not something that we need to think about it. Another thing after, nothing changed again, even if the trade is not going well or not, nothing changed again. You had the reasons. You have a playbook for this kind of pattern. You have for this kind of reason to get into. Nothing changed. So definitely you need to think about this, and when you do a DRC or daily report card, you definitely need to address this. Again, sometimes you can lose a trade, but it can be a good trade because there was a lot of reason in favor. There was a good risk reward. Sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes the trade failed. So part of the mental condition before and after when you start panic is think about through your mind when you are in trade, instead of uh, get a space for the panic to get over everything. You need to think about what's the reason to. For example, if you get, let's say, to Tesla or whatever, you can think about, instead of, oh my God, it's not moving, nothing. Watch the sector, watch the QQQ, watch typical stocks from that sector. What are they doing? So if everything is still okay, but again, it's not just moving a lot, it's fine. But instead of getting into the easiest solution, panic, check into the favor. What are the things that working okay? And what you need to remember, and again, nothing has changed from a second ago. Nothing. It's you, it's not them. So this is something that it's huge importance. And again, because those seconds, sometimes less, are between feeling calm and suddenly everything looks terrible. That's the key. So main focus going forward. Trading plan and mindsets need to be the same second after getting into a trade. You can write it, you can stick it above your computer, because it's the same. The only thing is now the money is working for your plan, and you need to get used to again. Trade. Most of the trades are going the same. If it's a shakeout, if it's it's a short squeeze, it's a reversal, the scenarios are same cycles. So when you work on your scenario, what can happen? What would you do? You definitely can base on things that happen to you, because again, it's happened and happened. Sizing the right trade is important in your variable trades. This is not really close to before and after, but when you size correctly, everything's correct. When you size too much, it's influence you. And then you can see that everything was well, except your size was not, and then it influenced everything. What's important is stick to the plan. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Stop is the same. The partial area are the same. The reason are the same. Stick to the plan. And sometimes automation can be a great solution. I do it quite a lot now. Because if I want to do something else and I want to stick to the plan, you know, you can throw the stop, you can throw the first partial, and actually it can free you. And definitely let your trades grow. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your system. Your goal is your desired outcome. Your system is the collection of daily habits that will get you there. This year, spend less time focusing on outcomes and more times focusing on the habits that precede the results. James Clear, Automatic Habits. We need to crush our limited beliefs.